Hello, everybody. This is Tito Bort, CEO at AltiSales, and I'm starting a new series called the Sales Development Mastery Course. This course will cover everything from I don't know you to the meeting is scheduled in the calendar and the prospect shows up. Up until the moment they show up, call it sales development. From the moment the prospect shows up and onwards, it's part of Tito Teaches Sales. So you guys have the opportunity to learn both and pick your own path. You can see it on the YouTube channel. This will be posted on podcasts as well, and so on. So let's get started with lesson number one. Lesson number one is going to be about why you shouldn't just push for discovery calls when you're doing outbound. And as you know, I'm going to focus a lot of my content on outbound. So I had this thing happening on Friday where it was 5:30 p.m. I had worked the whole day, full of meetings. I was exhausted. I take a break. I'm on my couch. I'm like watching TV, like doing nothing, just relaxing. And I'm checking LinkedIn and I get a message like, "Hey Tito, man, fan of your podcast, fan of like all of your content. Like, dude, I want to talk to you about like IT security and see if the product we have is a good fit for you guys." And I'm like, I don't IT security. I'm like, I don't think so. Why would we take a look at that? Like, we're just too small. We're 20 people in the company. We don't need like IT security. He's like, no, no, no. Like our primary market is 10 to 100 people. So you're likely a good target. Can we talk on Monday for half an hour? And I said no. I said I don't want to talk Monday for half an hour. But the only reason I say no, and the reason your prospects say no, is not because like they don't think your product is good or they don't like you personally. No, it's about like I don't yet see how half an hour between me and you on the phone is going to bring me any benefit. Like, what am I going to learn? What is going to be different before and after that call? How am I going to benefit? It felt like what the person was asking is, can you come to a interrogation so I can ask you a million questions and see if I should sell you something? And like, no person in the world wants to do that. What you want to do is provide value. So the one thing that got me curious is you said we specialize in companies between 10 and 100 employees. And like we've literally at the company, we've gone from like 7 to 22 employees over the past like 8 months. So there are things that I don't know that I don't know. So I was like, tell me more, right? I was one of those like prospects that gave him a little bit of like, rope so he could like try to get me. And I said, if I don't use your products, what are the risks? Like you're talking about security, what are the risks? And he couldn't explain it very well. He was like, well, like what happens if an employee loses a computer? And I'm like, nothing happens. Should I worry? He's like, of course you should worry. I'm like, why do I need to worry? I'm like, I don't get it. He's like, what if an employee loses the password to their computer and they can't log into the computer? And this is all like via LinkedIn messaging. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't care. Like they can reset the password on the computer. I don't know. They can call Apple, or Microsoft or whatever. I don't care. He's like, no, man, you're crazy. I can't believe you don't care. Like we need to hop on a call. Do you have half an hour on Monday? I'm like, dude, I don't have half an hour, but because I'm on the couch and I usually when I'm busy I don't respond. But when I'm on the couch, I'm like, okay, dude, like you're hustling Friday 6 p.m. Most of the time I'd be like, nah, no, thank you. But I'm on my couch doing nothing. Call me right now. He's like, can we do Monday? I'm like, no. Call me right now. Calls me, right? We have a 5 minute conversation or a 10-minute conversation. And he's like, so like, hey man, like here's the thing. We're a venture backed $38 million in Series A. We are disrupting the security space. Like he gives me all these cool statistics about his company. I don't care. Like, what can you do for me? That's the only thing a prospect wants to know. What can you do for me? Right? After I know what he can do for me, maybe those things are important. We'll talk about it in the Tito Teaches Sales series, not on the sales development area. When you're trying to get somebody to take a meeting with you, nobody cares about any of your funding, any of your blah, 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 nothing. What can you do for me? So I said, stop it, bro. Like, I don't care about your company right now. Tell me this. If I don't use your product, what's the problem? And he said, well, if you're imagine this scenario, like your employees walking through New York, they get distracted, somebody steals their backpack and takes their computer away. He's like, how big of a problem would that be? I'm like, that would suck, man. We'd have to go on Amazon and order a new one. He's like, no, 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 but like that computer, the information on that computer, aren't you afraid they'll be able to access like your data? And I'm like, what data? He's like, are you PCI compliant? I'm like, PCI compliant? I'm like, PCI compliant? I heard about that regarding like credit cards and something like that, but like, I don't think we are PCI compliant. He's like, oh my God, you're not PCI compliant. Oh my God, man, this is such a big problem. I'm like, why do I need to be PCI compliant? He's like, do you store your customers' like credit card information? I'm like, no, I would never do that. They pay me via wire transfer. I give them my bank account details, they pay me. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess you don't need to be PCI compliant, right? So the big problem, what I'm trying to get to is like, he was trying to like tell me I'm doing something wrong without knowing my context. And within that 5 minute conversation, I said, we don't take any credit card payments. We handle no information from our clients that's proprietary. We have no internally developed applications. We have like nothing. Like all our software we use is software as a service, is SaaS. I'm on like ZoomInfo, Everstring. I am on like Outreach.io. I use Google Sheets. I use the G Suite, Zoom. Like that's all I use. Like I haven't developed anything custom. I don't care. Nobody can access data. Like I don't care. And then he was like, okay, yeah, fair. He's like, yeah, you're not a good fit. Appreciate the time. Goodbye. And like the reason I bring this as an example is because I took the time and effort to like talk to this person, but that was like such a waste. What you gotta do is try to figure out if it's relevant in 3 questions or less. And this is easy to do. Like you could have asked me, Tito, if an employee loses a computer and somebody else has access to all the information of that computer, and they have all the pre-logins, they can log into everything, would that be a problem for your business? And how big of a problem would that be? And my answer would have been like, probably a 2 out of 10. Like, I wouldn't really care. If you log in and you find like our scripts, or you log into our like, we'll change the password for the SaaS applications, and then like, you're out. It doesn't really, I don't care, right? Second question, like, do you handle proprietary customer information that, if leaked, could like violate terms of contract in your agreements and blah, blah, blah? And I would say no. I think he would have been like, do you have custom developed applications in house or proprietary Alti sales based information? And I would have said no. And that would have taken like 1 minute. And then we would have parted ways really easily as friends. We still parted ways as friends, but it would have taken us 1 minute. The problem was that by him not knowing what questions to ask, we both wasted like 15 minutes on the phone. And he wanted to schedule a full half an hour discovery call where I bet he was going to show me a PowerPoint and just go in and on and on and on and on, like all about his company. And I don't care, right? So as you do sales development, just think, what are the 2 or 3 questions I can ask to see if my product is relevant? For us at Alti Sales, it's really easy. Like, what's your annual contract value for your customers, right? If you're a B2B SaaS company and your average deal size or contract value for the year is under $12,000, you're not a good fit for us. So that's a question I ask. What's your annual contract value? And then if you're not SaaS, we need it to be like 50K, because just the margins and all that need to be bigger. Once I ask that question, I know there's somewhat of a fit. Now we can both like spend the time to go in depth, but before then it really makes no sense. And for every company, there are certain things that really like will matter. And you got to figure out what those questions are and approach it in a way where don't just push for the discovery call. It's ridiculous. Sometimes I know you're being graded on how many discovery calls you get, but it's a complete waste of time to schedule any discovery call with anybody who is not answering those basic questions. And also, your prospects will not feel like it's relevant unless they answer those questions and you at least shine a light on the problem. So that's the lesson for today. Figure out what are the quick things that matter for you and your prospects to make them a good fit. Make him part of your email and phone communication, and don't just push for mindless like discovery calls scheduled. Get those questions answered, and then explain the value, and then book the call, right? So, Tito, do you care about the custom applications and your passwords? Like, if something leaks, would you care? If the answer would have been like, oh my God, I never thought of that. Holy cow, what if somebody loses their computer? I would breach all my contracts. I'd be done. I'd be screwed. Holy cow, I need help. Now he has something to sell me. Ask the question. I know you can do it. Go get him. Thanks.